that scream is a scream that many of us have heard, some have not heard, by women who look like me. Women who have given up on life, women who continue to struggle through life for no reason other than life happens, and there are people who may not necessarily care about them. Human plus nature, reconnecting for a sustainable future. How do we get there? How is the work that I do and others like me important to getting to that sustainable future? H2O, hiking, healing, and outdoors. Since 2021, I've had the privilege and the opportunity to create safe and trusted spaces for hundreds of Black women and girls to spend time outdoors. We've hiked, we've paddled, and recently we summited Mount Kilimanjaro. And again, you may be asking the question, what does this have to do with conservation and stewardship? Everything. Why is this my mission and my purpose in life? It's very simple. It's because we're dying. I know too many women, some personally, others I've heard through the grapevine about their struggles, and again, ultimately, them giving up on life. I'm not okay with that. Someone very near and dear to my heart gave up on life. Now, that is not for me to share in any more detail about her struggles and her challenges, but that's a personal reason why I can't let another Black woman, another middle-aged Black woman, suffer without having the space to just be, to not necessarily be in a performative role, to be who she is authentically and unapologetically. It's not okay because we're dying. I had someone ask me not too long ago, well, what is your research behind this, behind the mission, behind the purpose of H2O? Oh, another great question. The most recent study I found was from 2023. For 20 years, researchers studied the suicide rates among Black women and girls. What they found is that 2.1 deaths in 1999, per 100,000, grew to 3.4 deaths per 100,000. Doesn't seem like much of an increase over 20 years. One death is too many. You look at some of the articles that were published as a result of that research being released, and here are the age ranges that are represented in those articles. Ages 15 to 24, 25 to 27, and ages 25 to 34. The age range was from 15 to 84. Life has not ended for many of us at the age of 34, so what is happening to those who are 35 and up? Physiological shifts that we don't always talk about openly and honestly. And those physiological shifts lead to psychological changes as we mature, as we grow. It's a new journey. It's a new part of our lives that we didn't ask for, but we're dealt with. And that is on top of factors we were already dealing with. Racism, misogyny, leading to depression and anxiety, and sadly, suicide for many. So what is it, this thing about nature? Why do we want to reconnect with nature? I'm sure everyone here and those who may see this later can agree that when we spend intentional time outdoors, It reduces our stress levels. Our cognitive function improves greatly. Our capacity to continue through whatever challenges we may be facing is increased. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, whether it's researched or not, it's happening. Now, do I believe that nature is the end-all, be-all to stop the suicide pandemic that we're seeing? No. I believe nature is a tool. And I do believe nature, if used properly, and if people are introduced to it, it could make the world of a difference. I had one lady tell me one time during year one, and it gives me chills just to think about it. She said, hiking saved my life. I did not ask her to explain or expound further. That was all that I needed to hear. And she's still hiking to this day. So here's the formula. I get asked this often. Shawanna, how are you getting Black women outdoors? Well, I start with respect and dignity. We all have different life experiences. We all have different challenges. We all come from different environments and upbringings. That matters not. What matters is that I see the individual before me as a human being. Before I can ever get someone outdoors, and trust me, there have been many people who said, I'm not going because there are snakes. And I don't do bugs. But when I see a person and meet them where they are, as the human being, the beautiful human being they were created to be, that then grows into trust. And once people trust me, and let me be very clear, I do not take a person's trust for granted. This isn't about data, it's not about metrics, this is about people. And this is about people's lives, livelihood, and those who are impacted around them. Then we can go and experience nature. We can go hiking, and whether we see a snake or not, it's okay. We can paddle. We can grow together and overcome some of the inherent fears that exist. A lot of people are afraid of large natural bodies of water. At one time I was. I tell everyone, I'm the guinea pig. I'll try it. If I don't like it, I won't do it again. But I'll try it. And if I can convince you and show you and model to you that your PFD is going to do what it's designed to do, then hopefully because of the respect, the dignity, and the trust, you'll experience it with me. If I don't have the respect for the person and the dignity, if I don't have their trust, there won't be experiences. Experiences in nature always lead to a better understanding of conservation and stewardship. But I have to start with the human being first. I can't jump in and just start talking about the importance of ecosystems, why you shouldn't stack rocks. I can't really invite you to hike if there are basic needs that have not been met. Who wants to go hiking when they're hungry? I do not, and if you raise your hand, I'd like to meet you. Let's take care of the human first. Each and every time we do that, there grows a greater acknowledgement and a greater desire to protect what we have. You don't have to be a biologist. You don't have to be an environmentalist. But you do have to see people as people. So what is our role? Now, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing for as long as I can do it. I'll probably need to hire some help at some point, because at this point, my lower back is bothering me. Thank you, Mount Kilimanjaro. What we can always do is listen. There are a lot of people who know a lot more about environmentalism, conservation, and stewardship. And when they talk, I listen. It might not be a bad idea to listen when someone who looks like me expresses their fear, their concern, their anxiety. Without listening to understand, we might be missing out on something very important. We can advocate. There are many people who are in position who are going to be invited to the boardroom, who are going to be asked what their thoughts are, who hold certain titles and degrees and are associated or connected to others who can make change. When those conversations arise, when those topics come up on the agenda, advocate for the person who's not in the room. Advocate for me. Advocate for people who look like me. Because it's going to take all of us, not just one group of people, not just one gender, not just one race, to create the sustainable future that we want to see, that we want to pass down to generation after generation after generation. And build. What do I mean when I say build? I'm so glad you asked. I, Shawanna Kendrick, am not the gateway to the Black community. I mean that in the nicest way. I don't even know everyone in the Black community. However you develop relationships with the people who are in your circle, in your tribe, as I like to say, try to build those same relationships with people who don't look like you, who don't necessarily come from the same makeup or upbringing as you. That's how you build community. After all, it is going to take community to continue to protect, to continue to conserve. All right? I'm going to say it one more time. I, Shawanna Kendrick, am not the gateway to the Black community. And I want to leave you with this because this is probably the most important part of all of this. Everyone in this room has probably struggled with something, or you know someone who struggled with something. Just because my mission and my purpose is to help Black women connect with nature does not mean I don't care about anyone else. That is simply not true. If you need the help, it's there 24/7. Call or text 988. If you know someone else who needs the help, do that on their behalf or give them this number. Why? Because we need you. We all need each other. Thank you.